I recently started watching Breaking Bad for the first time ever, and it became very clear very early that the main conflict in the show, or almost every conflict in the show, can be drawn directly to Walt's battle with his ego, or his battle for pride. And this pretty quickly reminded me of another character from Sex Education, Maeve Wiley, who I've found myself relating to a lot when watching that show in the past, and her battles with ego and her battles with pride and how they compare to each other. On the surface level, these two characters are extremely different, especially culturally. Maeve is from England and is 16 or 17, I think, when the show starts, and Walt is a 50-year-old man who is in New Mexico and has a wife and kids. But they both really don't like reaching out for help, and it's very difficult for both of them. One thing I noticed when making this video is that the plots of both stories are actually fairly similar in terms of Maeve and Otis get into doing the sex therapy for money, and I feel like Maeve kind of feels like, there's nothing really to lose here. I might as well do this shit. And the same with Walt, where obviously he's cooking meth for money and he knows he's going to die soon because he has cancer, and he figures, why not make as much money as I can, because it doesn't matter if even he gets caught or goes to jail because he's going to die anyway. Both Walt and Maeve are considered underachievers due to their circumstances. Walt is a school teacher, which doesn't pay very well, and people generally look down at him. People underestimate him throughout the whole show, specifically his brother-in-law Hank, who's a DEA agent. And on the other hand, Maeve is in a similar circumstance where she isn't able to quote-unquote reach her full potential because she has so many other things to worry about. She doesn't have a lot of money, just like Walt, and has a horrible family situation as well. Maeve's brother eventually, at the end of season 1, gets her kicked out of school despite Maeve being a really good student. Both characters are in scenarios where they basically can't be appreciated to the extent that maybe they should be. Walt is a genius, but no one gives him the credit that he deserves, and Maeve is super smart and talented and a really good writer, but the people around her can't really know or don't know because she has all these other things to worry about. This also reminds me of how both characters are very set on doing things their way. After Maeve gets in trouble for what her brother did, she has to advocate for herself and ends up calling herself really smart in front of a bunch of teachers. Now, this is hard for her to do, I think, and she'd rather just have to not do it at all, but I feel like something similar happens with Walt throughout the series, where as the series progresses, he becomes more confident, more assertive, and really just able to trust himself. Alright, all in all, I thought this was a cool comparison to do because it's two very different characters on the surface at least, and it's two of my favorite shows. But yeah, that's it. I think I'm done. If you liked, like it, subscribe. Yeah, see ya.